On this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker, multiple Rambler softball records are broken, and Michael Faso gets personal at the Ramble desk with an in-house argument.
Also, men's volleyball makes a tournament run, and RSL reporter Analise Ockenfels gives a sentimental tribute to seniors at Loyola.
Welcome back to this week's senior edition of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Kelsey Frew.
And I'm Hayley Spitler. The men's volleyball team kicked off their MVC tournament play on April 13th. Loyola, a 2-seed, faced Ohio State, a 7-seed, at Gentile Arena. During regular season play, the Ramblers swept the Buckeyes 3-0, both at home and away. However, during this match, the Buckeyes put up a little more of a fight. Loyola saw a quick victory during the first set with a score of 25-15, but for the first time this season lost to Ohio State in the second set with a score of 25-20. Loyola would come back to win the following two sets and win the match 3-1 and advance to the semifinals. During the match, senior Colin Mahan posted his 5th double-double of the season, and senior Paul Narup had a career-high 13 kills. On Wednesday, April 17th, Loyola faced off against Purdue Fort Wayne, and despite dropping the first set to the Macedons, came back to win the last 3 and advanced to the MVC finals with a score of 3-1. Senior Will Tischler led the game with 13 kills and was one of 4 Ramblers that finished the match with double-digit kills. Loyola competed in the MVC Tournament Championship match against Lewis University on Saturday, April 20th. The Flyers swept the match in 3 decisive sets over the Ramblers and will advance to the NCAA tournament. The loss marked the end to several Loyola players' collegiate careers. Mahan became the first player in program history to finish his career with over 1,000 kills, 600 digs, and 100 service aces. Loyola is expected to return 12 players to the 2020 team, including 2-time All-MVC first-team selection Garrett Zolg.
The women's softball team has kept busy in the last 2 weeks with 8 games. On April 13th and 14th, the team traveled to Des Moines, Iowa to face off against the MVC first-place team, Drake University, in a 3-game series. The Ramblers fell to the Bulldogs in a sweep. Drake won the first game of Saturday's doubleheader 9-0 and then took the second 1-0. In Sunday's game, the Bulldogs came out strong once again for a final score of 11-0. The Bulldogs decisively ended Loyola's 5-game win streak over the weekend. Next, the team played a doubleheader at Northern Illinois on Wednesday, April 17th, falling to the Huskies twice, 7-6, then 7-3. In Game 1, the Ramblers built a 3-0 lead after the 5th inning, but the Huskies rallied in the 7th to tie it up, taking the game to 11 innings before locking in the winning run. The second game saw a new program record as sophomore Allison Ivy tallied her 44th and 45th RBIs this season, the most in a single season by a Rambler. Her production ultimately wasn't enough for the Ramblers to bring home a victory. Over Easter weekend, Loyola returned home for MVC play with a 3-game series against the Southern Illinois Salukis. The first game was canceled due to the cold, and the second day ended with a doubleheader split. Loyola took the first game 5-4, but SIU came back in the second game for an 8-3 victory. The Ramblers were able to get 3 runs early in the first game before the Salukis took the lead in the 3rd inning. But senior Kylie Jones pitched a lights-out game the rest of the way, and senior Katie Kasuki hit a full-count walk-off home run on her birthday to give Loyola a win in the bottom of the 8th. This past Wednesday, April 24th, the Ramblers brought home another win with a 5-2 victory at Valparaiso, marking a regular season sweep of the Crusaders. The Ramblers scored a run in the opening inning. Loyola now has 19-5 record this season after scoring first. At the top of the 5th inning, junior Jessica Shields began with a leadoff single that locked in her 17th 2-hit game of the year. She then stole second during the next at-bat to break the program record for most bases stolen in a season with 35. The win over Valparaiso puts the Ramblers at 24-20 this season. Up next, the team will head south to Normal, Illinois for a 3-game series against Illinois State, beginning Saturday, April 27th at noon.
Now, it is a tradition here at RSL to play in a staff basketball game for our final show of the year.
Let's take a look at who took home the bragging rights this year, the guys or the girls.
It is time for one of our favorite events of the entire year, the RSL basketball game. I'm Hayley Spitler. I will be representing the girls team as their captain. This is Connor Bergen. He's the guys captain. What are you looking for your team today?
You know, we just want to really share the ball tonight, get a lot of shots for everybody, and definitely watch out for the physicality of the girls' team. I'm going to tell people to be aware of that, just stay safe. They do like to hit and tackle a lot, so we're going to watch out for that.
All right, let's get started. You guys missed that foul was on Connor for too much confidence.
What did she say? What did she just say? What did she say? So that is all from the 2019 RSL staff basketball game. Despite a spirited effort, the girls did fall today.
Yeah, like we literally fell. I don't know if you saw Analise, but she fell and no one was around her. Anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of a ghost, I think, might have tripped Analise or something. But yeah, they did fall 21 to 10.
20 to 10.
21 to, it was 21 to 10.
20 to 10.
All right, it was definitely 21 to 10. Oh, wait, it was 20 to 10. Oh.
All right,
Pablo
so
hit it
this
three.
is what we're saying here. RSL basketball game is over. Guys might have won, but they're never right.
We won for the 4th year in a row.
Girls got it next year. Thanks for joining us. We love you.
All right, so the girls didn't quite pull out the win this year, but 10 points I think is a new record, so they're definitely going to get it next year. But moving on to track and field, men's and women's team participated in a handful of events over the past 2 weeks, starting with the Musco Twilight in Iowa City, Iowa on Saturday, April 13th. Sophomore Abigail Jones improved her 3,000-meter steeplechase time by 22 seconds with an 11-minute and 10-second finish. The time was good enough to earn her second place in the event. On the men's side, sophomore Vince Devenir moved to third all-time in the school record books in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 53.35 seconds. Devenir's second place finish was the top time posted by a Rambler in the event since 2004. Devenir turned it up another notch the following week at the Brian Clay Invitational in Azusa, California on Thursday, April 18th. Devenir beat a 32-year-old school record in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 52.05 seconds. Time earned Devenir a third-place finish and puts him atop the Valley leaderboard in the event. Kevin White moved up to second on the Valley leaderboard in the 1,500-meter run with a time of 3 minutes and 44.15 seconds. The finish punched White's ticket to next month's NCAA West preliminary. The following day, on Saturday, April 20th, the track and field team completed their West Coast trip at the Beach Invitational in Long Beach, California. The men's 4x400 relay team took home first place. Seniors LaRon Norton and Elijah Olich, junior Michael Edwards and Devenir came across the finish line with a time of 3 minutes and 14.35 seconds. Then the team traveled to Romeoville, Illinois to compete in the Lewis Twilight Invitational on Tuesday, April 23rd. Junior Danae Lawrence posted a time of 12.39 seconds to finish first in the 100-meter sprint. In the 100-meter sprint on the men's side, junior Michael Popper also took home a first place with a time of 11.12 seconds. The Ramblers will resume their season this Friday, April 26th at the Lenny Lyles Clark Wood Invitational in Louisville, Kentucky.
We are not only saying goodbye to seniors from RSL this year, but also all senior athletes who donned the maroon and gold.
RSL's senior reporter, Analise Ockenfels, has a special tribute to some of the Ramblers best who are heading out the door this year.
Today we're talking all about the seniors. The last 4 years have been a wild ride for most of us, and as it's our last Rambler Sports Locker show, I decided that it was time some of these seniors got a little last bit of recognition. In recent news, redshirt senior Marcus Towns signed to be represented by the agency Edge Sports International Incorporated, with intentions of being selected in the NBA draft on June 20th. Towns started at Loyola in 2016, but due to NCAA rules, had to sit out after transferring from Fairleigh Dickinson University. But once the 2017 season started, he showed he had a lot to prove, helping lead the Ramblers to the Final Four. As a follow-up, he was awarded MVC Men's Player of the Year in his senior season this spring. Our next senior, Gabby Majikowski, from the Loyola's women's volleyball team, finished her athletic career at Loyola strong. Majikowski finished her incredible career with 1,104 kills, ranking her 10th on Loyola's all-time chart. Majikowski started all contests this season and played in over 106 matches over her career. Our final senior is already making splashes in the professional world. Redshirt senior Grant Stoneman was drafted by MLS team, the Chicago Fire. He was chosen 55th overall in the 7th pick of the 3rd round of the Super Draft. His season with Chicago Fire started on March 5th of 2019. In 2018, he was named MVC Defensive Player of the Year. In his final Loyola season, Stoneman ranked 2nd on the team in goals with 3 and helped force 8 shutouts. As for the seniors here on Rambler Sports Locker, be on the lookout for us in the future, reporting on all your favorite sports, TV shows, and who knows, maybe even making a couple movies. That's all for my time at Rambler Sports Locker. Thank you for the wonderful memories and the amazing skills you've given me. One last time, I'm Analise Ockenfels. Back to you at the desk.
The Loyola men's golf team competed in the MVC Championship earlier this week on April 21st and 22nd. After 2 days of competition, the Ramblers finished in 8th place out of 9 teams. Loyola finished with a total of 922, which was just 1 stroke behind 7th place Drake. Sophomore Devin Johnson finished the event in 13th place overall. The event marked the end of this season for the golf team. They are expected to return 6 players next season, including 4 of the team's top 5 leaders in stroke average.
The women's golf team competed in the Missouri Valley Conference Regional Tournament on April 15th and 16th. Hosted by Valparaiso, the scheduled 3-day event took place at the Sand Creek Country Club in Chesterton, Indiana. The Ramblers ultimately finished in 8th in the final team standings with a score of 935 after 2 days of tournament play. The Southern Illinois Salukis took the Valley title along with the bid to the NCAA Regionals with a score of 905. Freshman Lorenza Martinez finished as the top Rambler on the individual leaderboard with a tally of 231 for a share of 15th place. Senior Elena Bowser carded a 233 to tie for 23rd, and freshman Jenny Mislinski finished in 33rd with 237. This marks the end of the 2018-19 women's golf season, as well as the end of Bowser's record-breaking college career. She closed out the season with All-Valley accolades, her second All-Conference nod in as many years, and a 75.3 stroke average, besting her own single-season school record by 1 stroke. Her career 77.2 stroke average is now the Rambler best, coming in above former record holder Summer Moser's 79.2 average. Loyola is slated to return 6 letter winners next year when it opens its 2019-2020 season in September.
In honor of today's senior show, we are doing something special for the Ramble this week.
Michael Faso and his Ramble analysts will be debating which segment was better, Blaze's Holiday Wishes or Hayley's Valentine's Day Love Letters.
Welcome to this week's Ramble. I'm your host, Michael Faso. Joining me are Ramble analysts Connor Bergen and Nolan Hawley. Today, each analyst will tell me which senior, Blaze Radosevich, Christmas Wishes, or Hayley Spitler's Valentine's Day Love Letters had the best segment of the semester. So Connor, thanks for being here. I'll start with you. Why do you think that Blaze had the best segment of the semester?
All right, well, Michael, it's really simple. Now, all props to Hayley Spitler. She's a personal friend of mine. She got me into this business, into the show. But frankly, Blaze Radosevich had the better segment for one reason. He transcended what RSL is. RSL is a sports show. What Blaze Radosevich did with that segment was something we've never seen done before. He turned RSL for a brief 4 minutes into a comedy show by emulating the great Steve Martin's SNL sketch. with his holiday wishes. It was parody, it was comedy. We haven't seen it. It was the most enjoyable segment we've had on this show in my 2 years being here.
And Nolan, what's your counter argument to that?
Look, there's good segments, and then there's great segments, which is what Blaze had. And then there's something that just comes out and changes the game.
A third level is what you were saying.
A third level. And then fourth level is where Hayley was.
Woo-hoo!
That's where Hayley was.
Oh, okay,
It was beautiful. It was a love note. It was a continuation of art going back from Shakespeare and Chaucer all the way to here. Yeah, I said it.
Wow, okay, that sounds a little, a bit of hyperbole, wouldn't you say, Nolan? When it comes down to it, when we're speaking in common man's terms, Blaze's segment was wholesome. He had the fireplace in the background, the nice Christmas music. And also, the thing you have to realize is Blaze's segment, Fired Up, it's a continuous segment on this show. It has gained a following. He's kind of got a reputation for being, an angry, fired up guy. So for him to pull back on the gas a little bit, come back with a softer side for the holiday special, doesn't get any better than that. It made it all the more funnier. When we're speaking in regular terms here, forget your kind of crazy hysterics there when you're talking about that segment. Blaze just simply had what was better, maybe a fifth level of what the segments are on this show.
Look, you know what the everyday regular man wants? Love.
Oh, man.
And you know what Hayley's segment was about? It was about love. It was a love note to the city of Chicago, the second city, the windy city. And she absolutely tore the building down. I think there's still a hole up there.
Wow. I don't see
All
a
right,
hole.
well, we got to wrap it up, but the phone's ringing.
Hold on.
what?
Blaze Radosevich.
Oh, wait, the Bachelor's calling, Nolan. They have an auditions if you want to audition upcoming season.
I've tried a couple times.
But we got to wrap it up. So I'm going to say that this is tough, but I'm going to say the winner is Connor, just because for his argument. But Hayley did a very good segment as well, but I got to give it to Connor. He had some pretty good points. But let us know who you think had the best segment of the semester by voting in our RSL poll on Twitter. Thanks again for being here, you guys. And I'm Michael Faso. Back to you guys at the desk.
I don't often like to say that RSL members make a mistake, but I think it's pretty clear that Michael Faso chose the wrong winner this week. My love letters, how did they not win, Kelsey?
I don't know. I mean, they were both my favorite.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet of you. Well, I guess it kind of works out in our favor because our senior Blaze Radosevich couldn't make it to today's show. So let's do everyone a favor and take a look back at that winning segment, Blaze's Christmas Wishes.
Good evening, and welcome to Fired Up. I'm Blaze Radosevich. So this week, instead of my typical fired up rant, where I'm, angry and I go off about something in sports, in the spirit of Christmas, I've decided instead to tell you all about some of my most heartfelt holiday wishes. So if I had one wish that I could make this holiday season, it would be that the Chicago Bulls would embrace a season-long, full-fledged tank job and lose every remaining game on their schedule. And if I had two wishes that I could make this holiday season, the first would be the Bulls embracing a season-long tank job, and the second would be for the Chicago Cubs to sign every top free agent on the market, nothing short of Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and Babe Ruth. Now, if I had three wishes that I could make this holiday season, the first would be the Bulls being absolutely garbage, the second, the Cubs signing Babe Ruth, and the third wish would be that the Chicago Bears inflict a level of pain unknown to man on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, my final wish is that all the children of Chicago, North Side and South Side, Cubs fans and Sox fans, would join hands and sing together in a spirit of harmony and peace. For all of us here at RSL, have a Merry Christmas, have a happier Hanukkah than Fred Hoiberg, and have a spirited New Year. This has been Fired Up. I'm Blaze Radosevich. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Blaze. To be fair, I do think that was my favorite Fired Up. The fireplace just really set a mood.
Oh, mood, atmosphere, absolutely. Before we say goodbye for good, we would like to remind you that this is a student-run production here at RSL, which comes with a lot of learning moments.
Yes. Thanks, Sister Jean, that we are not a live production as you watch this year's bloopers.
And while it opened up, can we start over? Sorry, I'm ready. I want one more. I'm sorry.
Gentile, after to face off against. Can we do that again?
On Tuesday, February. February. Okay.
Okay.
The men's volleyball.
From running with the pack.
It was the perfect moment. It was so quiet,
I'm
too.
taking this line and next time.
You're in Regis? I was in Regis. That place sucks. Yep.
Might be. Oh, do we have to do the whole thing again? Okay. That's my bad. Sorry.
Enjoying life. All right, Phoenix. We are better than you.
On this week's Fighting Numbers, I'll be taking a look at the number 3. On Tuesday, February 5th, the
Yes. Am I going? No one has answered my question. Is it 2 or 1?
Any sports analyst. Oh.
Oh no. But you were doing so great.
Yeah, it was the camera.
Okay. I can feel my heart in
Yeah.
my throat.
Simpson breakfast is good. Rest of Simpson is just trash.
Oh, they did fall, and then let me say one quick line.
What happened in 2010?
Hey, are you listening to me? You guys, he never listens to me. Welcome to my life as an executive producer. Did you guys capture that moment? Thank you. Thank you.
As much as I get frustrated with Connor, I have to admit he has been an amazing assistant producer this year, along with Isabella Van Stedham, and I am very excited to see what they do with this show next year.
Absolutely. After 4 years at RSL, I'm very excited to see where it goes from here and watch the shows from afar.
Yes, it has been an honor to be the executive producer this year, and I have got to say that most of my favorite college memories have come from being a part of Rambler Sports Locker.
Absolutely. For our full episodes and the chance to get in on the conversation, follow and like our social media handles for an up-to-date look at all things Rambler Sports.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hayley Spitler. Check back next September for another season of the Rambler Sports Locker.
And I'm Kelsey Frew. So, for one last time,
here we go.
as always,
Don't forget to turn out the lights. You never have to